Guys, what is up? Lefty back here again, and thanks for checking out the video. So today I'm gonna give my 2 cents, my sober thoughts, if you will, about kind of what's been going on in Minneapolis with ICE and all that fun stuff. Funny enough, I did make a video on the good shooting, kind of poor choice of words there, but the good shooting about a week ago, and I just never uploaded it just because it wasn't really doing anything. Granted, this video won't do anything either, but I feel like, you know, since I am a Minnesota resident, I feel like I have a little bit more skin in the game, and I also feel like my opinion is slightly different than the majority of people out there. I'm sure somebody agrees with me on some level, maybe on some parts they don't, but yeah, just kind of want to put it out there in a very early morning setting. It's about 9 o'clock right now. Sun's coming through, it's nice and sober and calm, and I just kind of want to give my ramblings on it. So first and foremost, I think one of the biggest thing, if not the biggest thing that everybody is missing about this shooting, it's not necessarily the events themselves, it's the things that are culminating around the events, right? It's not just people's reactions, it's people's reactions to what other people have done or said. So for instance, and this goes on both sides, I think if you want to look at the situation from like a 20,000 foot perspective and just zero in on what the causes are, like, yes, people died, but that's not a cause. People die all the time. What is stoking all this shit right now? And honestly, I think it's the responses to these events by both DHS, specifically who's ever coming up with those goddamn statements by DHS, Kristi Noem, and then on the other side, the mayor and the governor, 100%. And you have a little bit of players on either side, right? You have you have Mayor Fry, and then you have Governor Walz. Both idiots in their own respect, but the shit that they're doing is just furthermore. But again, you have like little people, little pieces moving on either side. You have the police chief of Minneapolis, which I don't agree with the way he's going about it, but I understand the way he's trying to navigate this thing when he has, you know, his boss is essentially Jacob Fry. It's like, I understand the position that he's in, so he's trying to navigate that. I don't think, for instance, like Bovino, the head of ICE or whatever the hell his actual title is, I think he's being told what to say on certain things. I don't think he's coming up with it. But what he is doing in some regards is not really clarifying anything and sort of adding to like the negative in aspect. So the major two are DHS in of itself with Kristi Noem, and then you also have the leadership in Minneapolis. So when the good shooting started, again, it's just kind of unfortunate. Prior to that, you had Minneapolis leadership saying that basically for the majority of things, we're not going to cooperate with federal law enforcement in this matter because we're a sanctuary city. Not only are we not going to cooperate them, they are illegitimate and they are not real law enforcement. And if you come into contact with these people, here's how to basically skirt the law in a way so if you are legal, you don't get found out kind of shit. So right out the gate, that playing field is laid in that manner. Very defensive, calling out DHS. Again, it's Trump stuff, right? So they've been attacking Trump and saying all these things about Trump, and then he sends DHS, ICE in general, to enforce the federal immigration law. We already have kind of the playing field set by Minneapolis leadership about how much they hate and despise Trump. And then while these law enforcement officers are doing their job or trying to do their job, you have the leadership saying they're illegitimate and not real law enforcement. So that's one side. And then, and that already is going to set up a tinderbox for something going to happen, because when you basically, and again, you're telling these people go out there and protest, but you're being very winky and naughty with how you label protest, right? So if I said go out and protest, I think a lot of people with a sound mind are like, stay out there, hold your signs at a distance, whatever. Where they hear it, they're like, blow fucking whistles, get in their face, inhibit their movements, mess with their actual operations. Like, it's just stupid stuff. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with law enforcement or just normal people. If you tell your side to go fuck with a bunch of people, a specific group of people, like eventually something is going to happen. It doesn't have to be civilian versus law enforcement or civilian versus military of any sort of capacity. It's like, it's going to happen if you constantly tell people to fuck with people that you disagree with what they're doing, right? So once the good shooting happens, immediately Kristi Noem or DHS, one of the two, essentially sort of the same people, really. I mean, at the end of the day, basically came on and said what the situation was. I was at home, I was watching it unfold on TV, and like I said, I made a video about it. This video is not really about that. Maybe at the end I'll kind of give my opinions on them, but I was watching it unfold. Kristi Noem comes on and says, I don't remember exactly, but it's something to the effect of she was a domestic terrorist. She tried to ram officers that were stuck in the snow or something like that. I can't exactly remember, but basically she was a domestic terrorist and she tried to hit multiple officers with her vehicle. The video comes out, that short snippet from a distance where you can see he's here. So at first too, they didn't show the gunshot, or they didn't play the gunshot audio. So I had no idea where the gunshots were. For all I could have seen, it could have been when she was driving away, like who knows. But then they played the video. It shows him getting hit and then shots going off. It's like, okay, that seems pretty straightforward, whatever. But then more of the video comes out and it turns out that she wasn't doing any of the terroristic things that you would think when you start labeling people that, right? Instead, you can see that she's just kind of being an asshole, right? She thinks she's being funny. She's filming herself. She's blocking the road at a perpendicular angle for whatever it was, 5 minutes, just to be cute and funny. And then she ends up panicking is what it looks like. And then she accidentally for as far as I can tell, she accidentally runs into a DHS officer. It's like, that's what happened. There was no, at least I don't care what she has in her head. What happened there, that's what it seems like, right? Then again, was that one justified? Just quick and short of it, I think for what the officer did in that situation. I don't give a shit that he was run over. I don't give a shit what her political ideations are. That slice in time where she's perpendicular in the road, blocking traffic, and then he's circling around, he comes in front, she panics and starts driving. His reactions, were they reasonable? I think they were pretty reasonable. I don't think anybody would find, in that situation, that slice, because again, the law is no hindsight before and after, right? Like, yeah, she technically hit him, but she didn't run him over, right? So it technically wasn't lethal, right? But at the time, was his actions reasonable? I think they were, and I don't think you could find any sort of like legal culpability in that for him. But anyway, so all that stuff happens. We see that she wasn't doing any of the terroristic things, whatever. That's a bad thing, right? So now you have the other side, the left side, saying they're not holding their law enforcement officers responsible, blah, blah, blah. They just murdered a woman who was just driving her car. And then all this stupid shit comes out about how she just dropped her kids off and people are start digging into this chick. It's like, I don't care about any of that. That is not relevant to this case. People need to stop looking at it from like this fucking huge political event and being like, okay, at this slice of time, I don't care what happened. I don't care if she came from a fucking dropping her kids off or she was just part of a KKK meeting. Like, it does not matter. At that slice is the only thing that really matters. So everybody digging in and finding out all this shit, like, who cares? No one cares. Who gives a shit? So then you go, what is it? It's been 2 weeks or something like that? It feels like it's fucking a week apart. It had to be at least more than that, but I don't really even know. So anyway, this situation comes out. And with this guy who is, we don't really know what happens, right? I wake up Saturday morning, some other person's been killed and stuff like that. It's like, okay, here we go again. So then this video comes out and basically can't see shit. Just a group of bodies on top of each other. It looks like just a bunch of chaos, and all of a sudden, one shot goes off and then a whole bunch of shots go off. And then everybody kind of disperses away from the dude that's lying on the ground. So that's kind of the first video, right? And then footage and photos. Footage comes out, right? Photos of this dude's gun, and they're like Kristi Noem or whoever. I don't know exactly how. I think the DHS came out on Twitter immediately and said basically this person, something to the effect of this person approached law enforcement with a handgun and 2 loaded magazines, and the officers wanted to disarm him. He resisted, and then he was shot in the process. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a weird thing if that's what happened. In the footage, or at least in the photos, right, you can see that he was just wearing a coat. Couldn't really see a gun on him at all. So that already doesn't smell like the best, to be honest. And then they said something, and then Trump echoed this, where he's like, he was carrying a gun and 2 loaded magazines. It appears he wanted to cause mass damage or mass casualties to police officers. Right then and there, that's just fucking stupid. Like, if you think tactically, okay, if I'm going to start shooting people, I'm not going to bring a handgun. I'm not going to be seen. I'm not going to go up to the officer's face and start fucking with them if I really want to start shooting people. Like, so that's kind of stupid. So I understand what DHS is doing, right? Especially in Minneapolis, because Minneapolis is like the complete opposite of case with Derek Chauvin. And then, you know, with, if you can believe whatever you want about him with regards to George Floyd, but the whole city going after the other officers that were just providing a perimeter when all that shit was going on, they went after them and destroyed their fucking lives. So whatever, DHS sees what Minneapolis does and like, we're not going to do that. So at least they're backing up their officers, right? So that's a bonus, but it seems like they're backing up their officers to a point, and especially when you kind of dig into it a little bit more, where there's going to be no like real transparency or like culpability on the behalf of like when people actually make mistakes. And this, honestly, with this shooting, it looks like it actually was a mistake. It's kind of hard to see it wasn't. I mean, again, it's kind of a slice. You can't really say he shouldn't have been there doing that. He shouldn't have done this. It's like, yeah, but did he have to get shot 8 times or whatever it was? It's like, I don't think so. Probably not. And again, it's like I get the whole DHS protecting their officers and stuff, but it's like there's got to be some accountability on some level, right? But anyway, they say all that. Kristi Noem comes on the fucking TV and basically reiterates what that statement is. And like they're sticking to their guns on that. And then Bovino comes up and does the same shit. And then I don't know if it wasn't actually in the report or whatever, but I almost guarantee they said something to the effect of, again, he wanted to cause mass. It seemed like he wanted to cause mass casualty to police. And then they also labeled them domestic terrorists. It's like, okay, you gotta, this is for the right side, you know, whatever. Stop labeling fucking people domestic terrorists. Even legally, definitionally, it meets that requirement. You start labeling people that are domestic terrorists, and then you lump those people in with like fucking, I can't think of his name. It popped in my head, then it left. The post office building blower-upper. Fuck. I know it's on it's right here, but it's not coming up. But anyway, he was an actual domestic terrorist, right? We can 100% agree on that. Whether, you know, some fucked up way you think like he's right in some regard, but the Oklahoma City bomber, right? Fuck, I lost. Anyway, we can all agree what he did, domestic terrorism, right? He blew up a fucking building. So now you're lumping that dude in with the Pretty guy, or Pretty, whatever. Like that, in people's minds, you're gonna start pushing people away, right? You're gonna start convoluting everything, and then it's sort of the same thing where people get called racist. It's like eventually it just loses its edge. So you can't start calling these people domestic terrorists even if they definitionally meet that definition. Technically meet that definition. How about that? Like, in one, it just looks bad. Because then normal people are just watching this video, and you see this dude kind of being an asshole, whatever, getting up in the face of law enforcement. Once that video comes out where it's the pink shirt from the other side, he gets into a scuffle with law enforcement. I don't really know exactly what happens there, and I don't know what happened prior. But again, it's sort of that situation that's the slice that should be looked at. So he gets into entanglement. He gets pushed. He gets maced. Then for whatever reason, he grabs that chick on the ground. I don't know if he's trying to get her up or whatever, or it looks like he's just, maybe he thought it was an ICE agent, whatever. But he's pulling on her, and then the ICE agent sees that, grabs him, throws him on the ground. Then they try to restrain him, and they got like, what, 4 or 5 guys on him? And then at some point, we find out that dude had a gun. The agent took it off of him, and then maybe at some point near there said, gun, gun, gun. And then that one agent backed up, shot 1 round. And then once everybody got more space, they just started mag dumping. So it's really hard to ascertain what actually happens. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to accountability. It's like if DHS or whoever would actually investigate it with a serious, I just want to get down to what happened and whether there should be legal repercussions. I don't care who it was. All right, what side, whatever. Just tell me actually what the fuck happened and whether or not that individual should face legal ramifications. It's very simple. That's all I need to know. And now the left side is doubled down on all of this fucking shit that they said before, how ICE is not a legitimate law enforcement, how this is causing chaos. And it's like, again, yes, if you tell your people to protest and get in the face and interrupt operations by law enforcement, this stuff will happen. It's not hard to conceive otherwise. You know what I mean? So you got the shit on both sides here. You both got to stop. You got to have accountability, but not like we need to have a crucifix for somebody just so they think we're doing our job. Like, actually get down to the fucking meat and potatoes of it. Was there a crime committed? Were they legally justified in shooting that dude? If not, fucking go after them. But this side over here, if they want to win, I don't know why technically it's the right side, but on my sheet of paper I have, they're on that side. If the Democrats want to win, stop going against law enforcement. You just look fucking stupid. Like, and I understand, again, there's like other little things. It's like what's going on with Walls right now with the whole fraud stuff. Like, this is great for him, and I don't even know if he's really, I mean, he should be removed just because all that stuff happened underneath him. But whether or not he faces legal ramifications, again, was he involved in it? Did he know of it? I don't know. That's separate stuff. Get to the bottom of it. He should be kicked out of office regardless, because all that shit would happen underneath him. It's like, yes, you're not running for governor again. Good. You should be kicked out regardless right now for failure of leadership. But everybody else involved in this shit should be kicked out for failure of leadership. Kristi Noem. I don't know who's writing those reports by DHS on their Twitter page, but whoever the fuck is coming up with these statements needs to be fired because they're fucking stupid. They're just adding to the shit. It's like you can very easily say this is what happened without saying any of the inflammatory rhetoric that just gets lost in the sauce, and then everybody comes numb to it. You can't call everybody that fucks with ICE a domestic terrorist. It's just stupid. It's like, I mean, I guess you can if you want to, but I just don't think that's going to be good for the country. So, like I sort of said, the good shooting, I think, was reasonably justified. The new one now, unless some stuff comes up and now everybody's talking about stupid shit like, oh, it was a SIG 320, so when that ICE agent grabbed it, it automatically went off by itself, which in turn caused everybody to shoot the dude. It's like, I don't see any evidence of that, and that's just more memery, is what it seems like. But, I mean, from what I've seen, the Pretty guy does not seem justified. Yeah, and then you have all this weird shit. Speaking of memery, you have all this weird shit by AI, because the footage sucks. I don't know what the hell people are recording these with, but the footage is just trash. And I understand it's super cold, so I don't know if that's affecting, maybe it's getting frost on the lens or something like that, but my God, it is bad. And then everybody's like, AI enhance these videos. It's like, no, that's AI doesn't enhance videos. It what's a good word? They use that word for it. Not imagine. It hallucinates stuff in the image. So it'll just kind of all right, I think this is this, and then just start putting shit in there. So all of a sudden you see this dude, it looks like he's got something in his hand from the AI enhanced image, but it's fucking nothing. It's a blob of bullshit. Because if you look to the left, or well, I guess the right side of the image with the agent on his knee, the fucker's got no head. So AI, don't ever use that shit with regards to like enhancing stuff for legal, like legal evidence or anything like that, because that is just garbage stuff all around. So anyway, that's pretty much it. It's a long, rambly video, I know. Case in point, both sides need to stop with the stupid shit. Right side needs to stop talking about all this garbage stuff about everybody's a domestic terrorist. And then Trump, real quick, obviously, big gun guy here on this channel. He went to a protest with a gun, 2 fully loaded magazines. I fucking do that. I take a gun wherever I go. I have 2 fully loaded magazines. Like, that's just what I've been doing since fucking, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. At least. I mean, God, yeah, at least 10 years. Everywhere I go to fucking Walmart. I got fucking gun and another loaded magazine. And I got extra magazines in my car. So it's like, I don't understand why Trump is going after the gun shit. It's like, that's fucking irrelevant. You can have a gun when you go somewhere. Now, I think technically in Minnesota, there might be a law about like protesting with a gun or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But the idea that I can't go outside in public and protest. Now, when I say protest, I'm not going and fucking with law enforcement, right? So I would say, generally speaking, this kind of gets into a different thing. I don't want to really get into it, but you know, when somebody wants to protest for like gun rights, what do? They go outside, they have a bunch of shit, they wear guns, and everybody just kind of hangs out on property. When the left says go protest, especially with go protest ICE, it seems like, hey, get up in their fucking face. It's like, I don't think that's a smart thing to do armed. Like, if you're going to protest, like me, I would never go to a protest. But if we're going to go protest gun rights or some shit, it's like, yeah, sure, carry a gun. Why would I not? If I'm protesting something and people hate me for it, yeah, I'm going to be armed. Like I said, I go to Walmart armed, but I go to Costco armed all the fucking time. I go everywhere armed. Sometimes I'm on my fucking grass on my own lawn with a gun on. Like, I don't really give a shit. It makes me feel good. I don't know. So, like, that whole thing is kind of ridiculous to me. Like, I think you should be able to protest armed. And I know there's a bunch of people online getting into it. It's like the Black Panther showed up and a couple of queers got online like, all right, I'm suiting up. I'm going to go fucking shoot people. It's like, okay, well, the FBI is going to be knocking on your door soon. But so, in another case in point, anybody that poses for a fucking photo, you know, because you got that one fucking tool bag where he's sitting there with his AR and stuff, like, I'm just here to make sure shit doesn't go down. It's like, dude, if you're posing for a photo, you're not doing anything. I think everybody knows. I think that's kind of a good litmus test. Are you making a social media post, or are you posing for a photo for people that are there? You're not going to do anything. I think that's kind of case in point. But in any case, rambled way too much on this point. Kind of getting into the more of the protest gun kind of stuff. Yeah, it's kind of a different topic for a different time, I think. Kind of how the Second Amendment applies to people that don't agree with you, I think is fine. But I think people that hate the country, I think there's kind of an interesting case to be made with that, at least. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to support the channel, down below, if you got something to say, you know, whether about my background, like all these random shit, because my refrigerator outside exploded. One of the kombuchas here, one of my wife's to thank you very a lot. But that's pretty much it. Stuff down below. Let me know in the comments if I'm off base, but otherwise, thank you guys for watching. Be good.